Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to our Wednesday live chat, our check in, if you will. As you guys are coming on, make sure to say hello. Let me know where you are in the world. We're having some funky weather again where I am in Southern California. And again, if you're signing in from Facebook, just say your name in the comments so I can see it. Today, I just want to check in on something that I was previously inspired about. Last week, we touched in on what we want to create for ourselves or what's one small thing that we're wanting to focus on. And today, I want to talk about the stories we tell ourselves. So I do a lot of posting on Facebook in our Joy Soul Spot Facebook group, as well as that forward facing Joyful Medium Facebook page. And I do a lot of posting on Instagram, which is at Joyful Medium. And sometimes I create the posts all at once and then I schedule them out. And I was getting a lot of inspiration the last time I was creating the posts. And one of the things that Spirit inspired me with was today's post, actually. And it popped up and I had forgotten about it. And I really just wanted to sit with it again. And I knew that I needed to share with you about it. So I'm glad that you're here. Whether you're live or on the replay, Spirit has a way of helping these things find us when we need them. So the quote that I was given, and I guess it's an original quote because it was an inspired message or inspired vibe from Spirit. You are not a tree. Your roots don't determine your fruit. You do. And it's so simple, but it was so profound when it came through when I was writing it. It's just a reminder, and it's another way to remember this idea that we are not our story. We all have a personal origin story, meaning, kind of our growing up story, the family that we were in, the area in the world or in the country that we were in, what was going on in the time period that might have influenced us. And while, yes, we are a collection of all of the experiences of our lifetime, plus often the triumphs and tribulations of our ancestors, right? We are not our story, meaning there are things that happen to us from outside of us that we can't control. There are things we go through both externally and internally, and we can create stories about these things, right? And depending on where we are in our personal journey, and sometimes even where we are that day, we might have our victim hat on saying, oh, this happened to me, or this was so horrible. And it's not to dismiss those things because, like I said, they color and shape who we are, but it's just acknowledging that, yes, while difficult things have happened, you don't have to take that on board and make it a part of who you are, for example. So even if there was a situation where you felt like a victim or where you were victimized, it doesn't mean that therefore going forward, you are always a victim. You're not your story. So there are lots of ways to look at this. And I do like to be really careful because for some people, this can toe the line of what we call the spiritual bypass, which is using the emotional work to kind of try to bypass the hard things and not look at them and use that kind of good vibes mentality, which doesn't work. That's not a real way of life either. Yes, we can be on the sunny side or more glass half full, but we all still have challenging emotions, challenging situations, even in the best case scenarios, right? But just remembering that while our history is a part of us deeply, of course, and has colored and shaped who we are not our story. And just because something, maybe in your family of origin has always been a certain way, doesn't mean you still have to do it that way. Your roots do not determine your fruit. You're not a tree. Just because something has always gone a certain way or you've always done something a certain way, it doesn't mean that you are bound to only do it that way. So in what ways can you look at your stories, right? The stories of your life, the stories of your experiences, the stories of your emotions, and notice patterns that you might be, patterns of behavior that you might be taking part in that aren't serving you, and recognizing, oh, I can choose a different way here. I can do this a different way. I can work through these emotions of the past sometimes, or sometimes it's just recognizing the pattern we're doing. But it's just really this idea that, Spirit has a sense of humor too. You're not a tree. Your roots do not determine your fruit. You do. So you are not your story. And while, of course, the things that we experience change us, shift us, move us, help us grow, it doesn't mean that we are bound to only be one way, that we're bound to only produce one fruit. And the truth is, it's through the exploration of yourself, the getting to more deeply know who you are, what you believe, why you believe it, who you want to be in the world, how you want to be in community, whether it's, small community or whether it's taking part in our larger community, which if you're a sensitive of any kind, I believe that we're all called to some degree of activism, and that can look different for everybody. But I think that we need to take an active part in our larger community to support what we believe in as individuals. And, if you belong to a collective, the beliefs that resonate with you. So just really using all of the parts of you to help yourself continue to grow and move forward. And we never know what new fruits we can produce, right? There was a time in my life where I didn't even believe in mediumship, let alone think that I could be a medium communicating with other people's loved ones and giving specific details and messages. I only came to experience that fruit through agreeing to develop, agreeing to I guess take part in my own spiritual and emotional development. And it was through the continued focus and personal work that those gifts eventually came to the surface. But it wasn't something that I identified in that way my whole life. So we don't even know what additional fruits might be available to us in our lives. Maybe you are a writer with profound ideas to share, but maybe you just haven't gotten to that part yet. If there's a stirring in you that you feel like there's something you want to do or express in the world, or that's a calling, for you, for example, a calling to activism or a calling to expression, even though perhaps it hasn't come into full form yet, it doesn't mean the seeds are in there. It doesn't mean they won't grow and can't produce fruit at some point. So it's really just looking at patterns, behaviors, what we are doing, what we aren't doing, the stories we tell ourselves and about our experiences, and acknowledging that we can produce different fruit, right? Our roots don't determine our fruit. Our history doesn't determine all of what we can become and all of what our soul has to express in this lifetime. So let me know how this resonates with you. Again, the quote itself is simple, kind of brought through me by spirit, I guess is the best way to say it, even though I know that sounds a little strange. You are not a tree. Your roots do not determine your fruit. You do. So just another way of saying you are not your story. And that's what I wanted to chat with you about today and what I wanted to leave you with today. What new fruits are you potentially wanting to move towards? What seeds do you feel stirring in you? What story about your past or your emotions or your experience, what story are you willing to reevaluate and just look at and see if there's other wisdom to be had? See if there's other perspectives you can view it from. Not to dismiss it, not to excuse it, but just to have your own growth and your own understanding and your own emotions and see where your soul wants to move you. And again, we are incredible creative beings. So I don't believe that there's a timeline on any of our spiritual gifts. I know that there are people that come into them very early in life. There are people that come into them in the middle, and there are people that come into them much, much later in life. It's a never too late kind of a thing. So where are you willing to reevaluate some of those stories? This is something I work on personally quite a bit. Especially if I'm trying to make a behavior change, or if I'm wanting to focus more on something, or the big one for me is if I find myself in resistance. I'll tell you one I'm working on right now. So I know that it is best for me to go for a walk in the morning, like an hour walk. I actually like it quite a bit once I do it, but at 6 a.m., I don't want to do it. I'm tired. I've been kind of staying up a little later than normal working. Even though I set my alarm and I wake up, I just don't want to do it. And so what I'm examining is that resistance, we call it. In my mind, I know it's something that I want to do that feels good for me, that's a healthy habit for me. But there's a mismatch or a disconnect, right? Because I'm not showing up to do it, even though I'm putting all the things in place, setting the alarm and setting my intention that I'm going to do it and reminding myself of why I want to do this. There's a disconnect. So that's something I'm exploring and figuring out, okay, there's a mismatch here. Something's not adding up, right? Is there a story I'm telling myself about this? Is there a past experience or past version of me, or what's this resistance about, right? For me, sometimes that's the easiest way to unfold where my stories are creeping back in again. But just know, whether it's a big thing like a spiritual gift that you're wanting to develop or come into, and I think any expression is a spiritual gift. It doesn't just have to be psychic work or mediumship. It could even be, that you want to write, or that you want to have a nonprofit, or that you want to help kids, or that you want to be an activist for trans rights. Whatever it is for you, the fruit that you're wanting to seed and to grow. Or it could be just a small change, like me, like you want to go for a walk in the morning. MD says, I'm working on patience. Hey, Facebook user, if you're Facebook, say your first name. So really just kind of reevaluating so that you can move towards producing the fruits that you want. And it's okay if you don't know what those fruits are. It's just remembering that you have unlimited potential to live into your gifts as a person, those that are known to you now, and those that are just little seedlings inside you that maybe haven't sprouted and sprung all the way up yet. So let me know how this resonates with you. Let me know. You can let me know your favorite fruit if you want, if you're trying to grow new fruit, metaphorically or actually, meaning like, what does that fruit represent, right? Is there a gift that you're wanting to grow? Is there something you're trying to move into? MD says patience. And add value to people, which is great, I guess, depending around what subject area you are. There's so many ways to add value and contribute to this world. So let me know how it resonates with you. A couple reminders just before we go. Today's May 3rd, 10 days away. I've got that group reading inspired by Mother's Day, but all are welcome. The tickets for that are on my website, joyfulmedium.com/events. It's a live group mediumship reading on Zoom where we're going to give my friend and colleague, Kelly Fisher, and I are going to be giving details and messages from loved ones in the spirit world to many people in the audience. And then we have also got our free monthly community healing coming up on Wednesday, May 17th. So 2 weeks away from today. If you're in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group or my Facebook page at Joyful Medium, I will be posting the link there. It's a Zoom link. I don't stream those live. We have them once a month in a Zoom room, my Zoom room, and those aren't recorded. So you're welcome to come. It's open to all. It's totally free. I'll start making some posts about that this week, but kind of look for them. That's May 17th, which is a Wednesday. And I think we're doing it at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm trying a different day this time. I try to mix it up so everyone can have an opportunity to come. Oh, hey, Levi, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So free community healing coming up on the 17th. Let me know. Yeah, let me know how this quote resonates with you. Again, for whatever reason, the way it came through me, it just, for me, has been a super powerful reminder. You are not a tree. Your roots do not determine your fruit. You do. Big hugs. Lots of love. It's good to be with you again today. Join me Friday for the free live mini reading or mini message from Spirit, I guess is what we've been calling it. I do two separate ones. I do one that is here, wherever you're watching this now, which would be either one of the Facebook, the page or the group or YouTube. And then I do a totally different reading on Instagram and TikTok, which I'm at Joyful Medium there as well. So if you would like a message from Spirit for the week ahead, I I do those on Friday morning-ish usually. I try to get them in. It takes me a while to do them. So I try to do it in the morning, but sometimes I'm human. All the time I'm human. So join me for those. Like I said, we've got that event coming up on the 13th. We've got the free healing coming up on the 17th. Always lots of things to do. And remember, Spirit, the gal that I have the event with, Kelly, her episode just launched this Monday. So if you want to see her or get a feel for her vibe or how we are together, check that out. She's an amazing medium herself. And I've got some other new and exciting episodes coming up for you guys. Those drop every Monday wherever you get your podcasts. And you can also see the video version on my website in the blog section, joyfulmedium.com, under blog. And transcripts are available as well if you'd rather read it. Again, big hugs, lots of love. And I will see you guys in a couple days for the mini message from Spirit. Bye for now.